My name is Rebecca Potter from Letcher County Central, and these are my fabulous students. They're all going to speak to you in just a second. This year, for the past 3 years, we've been working on KVEC grants. In the past, we've mainly worked with video. This year, we decided to go to the audio realm and create podcasts. To begin with, we had, I don't know what I have here. Let's see. I can't remember what I put on my... Oh, well, to begin with, we had some training. We went down to the Apple shop, and we had 3 one-hour trainings with the professionals down there. Several of these students work at the Apple shop. They can tell you a little bit about that, too. And we came back to school. We started brainstorming ideas. What do we want our podcast to be about? What are some of the issues and topics we should talk about? The first podcast is No Man's Land, and I'm not sure if those links work, but you can come out to the listening station out where y'all set up out beside the men's restroom out there and listen to any of these podcasts you'd like to listen to. But the first one is by Madison Buchanan and Callista Fields, and it's called No Man's Land.
Hello, my name is Madison, and so our idea for this podcast was that me and Callista are both really, really passionate about women's issues and women's health and things like that. And so we decided to revolve our whole podcast around that. So our first episode is about access to birth control and how important that is for women, especially in an area like ours. And our podcast, the first episode, is about 20 minutes long. We brought in our boss. We work at Apple Shop with All Access, which is a birth control access job. And so we brought in our boss and we interviewed her, and we worked really hard on this podcast to make it, something that people would want to hear. And our next episode is going to be about dress code, and then we want to touch on domestic violence and other issues that women go through that needs to be talked about more. So I'd worked with things like this before, so I picked it up pretty easily, and it was just but it's really fun to be able to make something that is important to me and to other people and is needed around here. So
Okay, I'm Callista Fields, and this has been a really meaningful experience for me. Just today we've had several women come and talk to us and tell us that they wish they had something going on like this when they were young, and that it would have been really helpful to them. So it means a lot to me. And after just recording our first episode, I was offered the job at the Apple shop, and I've just been really happy to work with that. Jeffrey?
Our next podcast is called Officially Late. Sean Hall and Jeff Kraft put that one together. Sean is actually at FBLA State today and couldn't come, but Jeffrey's going to tell you all about it.
Good evening, everyone. Our podcast is officially late, and the name was pretty hilarious when we came up with it. We was sitting in our studio trying to think of subjects and names, and we was late to class when we thought of it. And as we was walking to class, we was thinking of names, and our principal stopped us and was like, "Guys, where are you supposed to be?" And we said, "Well, we're late." She said, "Well, what was you doing?" And we explained to her we was thinking of subject matters and different things to talk about for our podcast. And she said, "Well, you're late to class." She tried to give us trouble things. And we went to class. And then, as our first episode, we started talking about pop culture and things of interest to ourselves, and really just whatever came to mind. And it was very different. Yes.
The next one, the girls weren't able to come today. It's called Mikes and Murders. It's actually about serial killers. So, but with this one, we don't have it at our listening station, but because the editing process is not done on it, but we will have it up soon, hopefully. And the last one is called Into the Pines, and that is Reagan Spangler and Hannah Boggs, and they're going to talk to you about
Potter made you make that picture for nothing? Our podcast is about folklore and traditions that are really close to us in the Appalachian culture, and we wanted to make a podcast about them to help kids remember their roots and maybe even adults, or for people who just wanted to listen to them and learn about different communities and places around the world.
Through the time that we've been through this podcast, we have learned probably too much about our culture, and we have learned to use the technology that our school has provided us with, like the editing. We used our phones mainly to do it with, just because it was easier on us, and we used Anchor, the app Anchor and iMovie to edit with.
With our grant, we bought a couple of mics that we could use with their iPhones, and we also set up a iPod studio in our school. So a podcasting studio in our school. So hopefully next year, maybe we can take that out into the classrooms and get with the teachers. Hopefully what I'm thinking with for next year is have the students go to teachers and say, okay, you can use podcasting in your classroom. Let's brainstorm how you can do that. And the students show the teachers, because I wouldn't know how to do any of that stuff. The students show the teachers how to use it in their classroom. So that's where we're hoping to go with it for next year. Y'all have anything else to add? Any questions? Yes. Well, we have sent them to Bruce already, Parsons, and he's going to post them on the Holler. And Madison, what was the other site you were thinking of?
We're probably going to put them on Podbean, which is a free podcasting app, so you can find them on there once we get them posted.
Is there a way to open up discussion among students after students listen to podcasts? Maybe in a chat room?
Maybe we hadn't even thought of that. That's a great idea, though. That's something we can look into. Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you all.